For the Geek Show today, it's Calvin joining us at Mohawk Studios. Good morning to you, Calvin. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks, Wammo.
And today we're looking at our favourite smartphone apps, particularly in the Android area, though I think you've got an iPhone smartphone app up your sleeve as well. But what got you thinking about smartphone apps this week?
Pardon?
What got you thinking about smartphone apps this week? Have you got a new toy?
Yeah, finally, after years and years and years of basically, when I saw the roadmap for smartphones and saw what the Tegra 2 chipsets were capable of from NVIDIA, I thought, yeah, that's kind of where I want to join this race.
Huh.
So in the past couple of weeks, we bought a couple of Samsung Galaxy S2s, and also got a tablet, an Asus Transformer tablet, which all of them run the same chipset and run Android.
Nice.
And it's rather fun.
Cool. All right. Well, what have you got for us?
Well, probably what's changed my life the most has been Evernote, which has been hanging around on, it's been available as a PC app, and it's a cloud application. But it really shines on a smartphone. It lets you capture anything, like a little bit of video, a photograph. You can talk in a quick idea, write a note, and it'll store it and allow you to find it from any of your other devices at any point in time. It'll stamp it with geolocation, where you were when you thought of that idea, to let you put them in notebooks, and it will search images for text and pull out searchable tags if it sees any text in those images.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way of just remembering everything and having a bit of software to go search for it and do the recall for you afterwards.
Nice. It is very cool. One application, like last night, I was figuring out what to cook last night, and then I found a recipe, and I figured, why don't I create a notebook inside Evernote that has the recipes that I've used from the web that I do want to use again because they were pretty good, and start collecting them, tagging them. Say if there was chicken in that recipe, put chicken for that particular recipe. So then whenever I have that ingredient again, I can just go back through, and so it's great for that kind of thing.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
That's great. I love the way that everybody Evernote reminds me very much of Dropbox in so much as it's a really good tool that can be used in lots of different ways, and everyone uses it differently. The thing I loved about Evernote is the fact that it's got the Evernote trunk, and the Evernote trunk is basically a list of hardware or applications or ways of using Evernote that make Evernote better. So this is basically a list of other apps and other people's projects that have used Evernote as a basis.
Oh, cool.
So there's this thing called Sketch, which lets, whenever you do screen captures and stuff like that, it lets you draw notes over the top of them and things like that. Or Reader, R-E-E-D-E-R, which lets you send articles from a Google Reader client straight into Evernote.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Nice. And we've got, as you say, it's great because it's multi-platform, isn't it? You browse it through Evernote on the web, but also on an Android device, on an iPhone or a Windows phone, or a few other things as well.
And it looks good on all of them. That's what's really nice. Some things I've found haven't translated over to small screens very well.
Yeah.
Facebook's appalling on a small screen.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
All right. So that's Evernote. Well, while we're talking about sort of readers and that sort of thing, one I quite enjoy using, and I've been using it on the Chrome web browser for a long time, is Feedly, and they came out with an Android app a wee while ago, and it was quite a simplistic sort of app that was optimized just for phones. But basically what it does, it pulls in your RSS feeds or your Google Reader feeds and puts them in a sort of a magazine-friendly, really pleasing on the eye kind of format, and also pulls forward the stories that other people have shared the most and talked about the most, so therefore you're getting the most relevant stuff up in front of you. And they've now recently also optimized it for tablets as well, so it looks just really nice. Like you've got this magazine that you can just sort of take away with you, which I really, really like. It's called Feedly, and they're always developing stuff for new platforms and also trying to make it better all the time. But as far as RSS readers go out there, I think it's pretty hard to beat. Do you use it as well, Kelvin?
Yeah, I've been using Feedly on my PC pretty much since they came out. But God, they've done a really good job on the app for presentation on tablets, like you say. Yeah. It's just fantastic. It's just like having a brilliant looking magazine that you can just flip through page by page.
And what I also like about it is that if you're not into going and finding the RSS feeds and discovering stuff for yourself, they will also suggest a whole list of feeds so that you don't even really even need to leave Feedly at all to start collecting feeds. So that's really cool.
You can just start subscribing to its recommendations, and you end up with a very good magazine.
Yeah. All right. What else you got?
Okay, my turn now. Google Plus. Google Plus didn't make much sense to me on the web. You know, the interface looks a bit. You know, I'm really not that into it. It's all right, but it just looks like a sort of something that wants to be a slightly better thought out Facebook without the bloat.
Yeah.
However, when you see Google Plus operating on an Android phone, you suddenly realize that they've really been thinking about the mobile app as their first point of contact. It's beautifully put together. It works really fast. Circles work really well. You can get lovely browsable pages of photos from all your friends or photos from one particular circle. It's just great. They've nailed it. It seems like they've really had all along this platform of tablet or small handset, and that their website's an afterthought.
Now, the one thing I haven't been able to work out with the app itself is because one of the great things about Google Plus is the Hangout feature, where you can have video conferencing with up to 9 other people. Now, I haven't worked out whether or not that has been integrated into the app. Can you do that within the app?
No, I was looking for that and I couldn't find it. It's the only little really big missing bit. And I was looking into it yesterday, but I haven't been using Hangouts up until now. And so I haven't really sort of felt the need to go searching for it, but now I know it should be there.
It should be there, shouldn't it? I mean, it just seems to make sense to be able to hang out, because you can use Skype on an Android phone, so
absolutely,
it makes sense that they should bring that through as well.
Maybe it's just, that'll happen in the next version along.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, well, and I've got another one over here. Being a radio person, I'm really into audio apps and the various different ways you can pull podcasts and radio shows through to your phone or tablet. And the one I found is the killer app.
This looks really good.
Yeah, this is really good. It's called Stitcher.com, or Stitcher.com is the website, but Stitcher is the app, and they're also available on iPhone as well, so it's not just Android. But what they do is they curate channels, so much like Feedly, in that you can sort out your own channels. You can actually put in your own RSS feeds of podcasts, but you can also just sit back and listen to the channels that they've curated, and they've got them all under subjects like news and politics, science, music, entertainment type stuff, hobbies. And so they go to various podcasters around the world and say, hey, would you mind if we take your podcast and feed your RSS feed through our app so that we can present your radio show as a show within a channel? And basically, it is like saying if you're really into knitting, and you're just really into knitting, you could go to the knitting channel and have all the podcasts that relate to knitting, all the decent podcasts. They won't just put up any podcast. And then just sit back and listen, and it's like your own radio station, but it's coming through the internet. And I think this is one of the futures. I'm not saying it is the future. It's one of the futures of radio, that you have these curated channels. And I think it's so important that there is still that curation going on, because there's a lot of rubbish out there as well, and it just really helps.
It's very hard to find good podcasts at times.
Exactly, and it's just really helpful for someone else to do that. And I could do a wee plug for an internet-only show that I do. It's called The Climate Show, and you can find that inside the environment section in the science and medicine section of Stitcher. So I think it's, and I also not only listen to it on the Wi-Fi, but I plug it into the jack on the car radio, and I can, rather than be listening to Kiwi, as I probably should, I can be listening to my Stitcher channels on the road. It's really cool.
Kiwi not out on Stitcher yet?
Well, because we don't put out audio podcasts as such, or there's the odd audio podcast, but it's the one thing about Stitcher is not so much about music; it's about talk, and there is a little bit of music in the music section, but it's more about music commentary. Right. So I guess maybe we could put the odd interview out there, and that's something that Kiwi can investigate. But yeah, it's more about talk radio. So that's quite cool. Yeah. Stitcher. So have a go at that one, Calvin. I'd like to know what you think.
Yeah, I'll install that straight away. I've been using, for music, I've been using Digitally Imported.
Oh, yeah?
Which is a brilliant little, it was a website, now an app. How often will you hear that?
Yeah.
And Digitally Imported just lets you choose dance music by genre and then feeds you loads of dance music.
Cool.
And if you pay for it, you get it ad-free, and at a higher bit rate. But for free, you still get really quite good sound and barely any ads. It's wonderful.
Nice. So you got one to finish off on, or is that it?
I have, because we've been talking about Android this whole time, and just after I'd spent all this money on an Android phone, I found this fantastic piece of software and this fantastic device called iRig, and it's a $100 connector that lets you connect your guitar and a pair of headphones to an iPhone or an iPod Touch or an iPad, and then the software does real-time software simulation of amps, microphones, speaker cabinets, and effects for your guitar.
Wow.
And then lets you play alongside songs and things like that. And it's fantastic.
That is that's really amazing. That is one area where the iPhone is way ahead in Android, and that is the creative endeavors, arts and music.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's, for the foreseeable future, it's going to have a stranglehold on those apps, because basically the sound stacks in both operating systems are very different. And with the Apple stuff, they can very easily have what's called low latency sound. So they can in a tiny amount of time, they can take the signal from the incoming guitar, mess with it, and squirt it out to you.
Yeah.
So fast you can't tell that, you're not playing a note on guitar and then hearing it come out your headphones. However, the sound stack on Android doesn't work quite as well. So there's always going to be what's known as latency with Android. Now, I haven't been able to work out whether they're fixing this in Ice Cream Sandwich, but if they don't, then that's at least the next year and a half of not being able to jump on this creative music app bandwagon. And the iPad is really taking off for this.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some incredible things. I mean, iRig is brilliant for... I bought a bottom-of-the-range iPod Touch for mine.
Yeah.
And that was $250 for the iPod Touch, $100 for the iRig dongle, so 350 New Zealand dollars total, to basically give me a whole set, a music shop's worth of amps and pedals that I can play with. And the software, even when you bling out the software, it's under $100 worth.
Wow, cool.
And that's less than the cost of a cheap floor unit in hardware terms. And the iPad's become a game changer like that. The iPad's being used for remote piloting of Ableton in real time. There's some really good music apps for creating music in ways that no one has ever thought of creating music before.
Yeah.
Because they're making weird touch apps with sounds at different corners and all sorts of weirdness. And it's such a shame that we won't be seeing that roll out on Android anytime soon.
Exactly. Well, those are some great apps there, I reckon.